Welcome back, 3D students. In this video, we're going to continue to work on the eyes, and we're going to maybe create an edge for the mouth. So let's get started. Let's switch to polygon mode and click the first polygon here on the eye, on this eye socket on the front there, and then double click the next one to select that whole ring. And then switch to perspective mode, rotate around a little bit. We want to pull this out a little bit more so it sticks out from the face a little bit more. And then let's take these two vertices here on the bottom of the eye socket and tuck them in, tuck them up a little bit more like that. Now see this diagonal sort of invisible edge here? That has to do with smoothing. So let's clear the smoothing information. Let's go to polygon mode and select the entire mesh. And let's scroll down in our settings here and find smoothing groups. And then let's click clear all and select 1. And that will put everything in the same smoothing group and get rid of those weird invisible triangular edges. Now let's go to the front view and create an eye. Let's go to the Create tab, select Sphere, and click about right in the middle here and create a sphere. Just make it as wide as the eye socket because his eye is elongated. So once we've done that, switch to the Modify tab, get the Scale tool, and then let's scale this like so. And maybe make it a little wider as well. Now this eye will not be able to be rotated vertically because it's oval. That's one of the drawbacks of doing it this way. Let's hit L on the keyboard and we're going to pull this eye out into our eye socket area like so. And then let's hit F on the keyboard. And you can see that we either need to make our eye smaller or our eye socket bigger. So I switch to the perspective view and let's go around here and take a look. So let's start with the Scale tool. Let's just get right in the center corner, right in the corner there, and scale that whole thing down some more. Move it over, move it down. Let's get the Scale tool and scale it out this way some. Doesn't appear to stick that far out from his face. Select the body mesh, go to vertex mode, and we're going to start shaping the eye socket a little bit more. Grab these three vertices here of the eye socket, and let's move them out a little bit. Grab these three, move them up a little bit. Grab these three and move them up a little bit. Grab these four and move them up a little bit. Sorry, grab these four and move them up a little bit. And let's click the eyeball sphere and scale it up a little bit now and see if that fits a little better. I really don't understand why my computer is lagging so much. It's starting to annoy me. Select the body mesh and we'll just continue to shape this eye socket. Maybe grab these, grab these four and pull them forward and out a little bit. Notice I'm just grabbing these two front ones here to pull that forward on the eye. Let's move the eyeball forward a little bit more after reshaping and see if that works better. All right, now let's visualize this with smoothing. Okay, select the mesh, add an open subdiv modifier. Open subdiv. And that gives us kind of a smoothing preview. And with that active, then we can go back down to the Modify tab, click Show Cage, and we can shape this with smoothing active. It's a little difficult to see the vertices, but you can still get a pretty good idea. So it looks better than I thought it did, actually. Alright, so shape the eyeball as needed. And then let's very quickly create a texture for the eyeball, and then we'll copy it, the eye, and move it over to the other side. So open up your material editor. Go to a blank space, drag a physical material out, drag off the base color node, go to General, and we're going to find Gradient Ramp. And under Gradient Ramp, find the settings, and we're going to change from linear to radial. And then we're going to change the interpolation to solid. Double click on this flag and change it to white. And then we can adjust that flag in a little bit to make the pupil, this is going to be the pupil, and makes it smaller. And then we need to apply this material to the eyeball. And then we need to find the UVW map and add one to the eyeball. And you should have an eye. You can make that pupil smaller. And then we can get the rotate tool and rotate this a little bit towards the center. And now we need to put one over here. So let's use the mirror tool to do that. Click mirror, select copy, and let's drag this offset slider or spinner here to give it some offset. And click OK. Now let's get the move tool, click this eyeball, and let's select the move tool and come down here to below our timeline, and we're going to, this is the eyeball, the original eyeball. We're going to look at this number, we're going to copy it using Control C, and we're going to click this one. And we're going to paste that same number here using Control V, but we are going to make it positive by deleting the negative sign. And I'm going to push enter. And that should position this eyeball directly across from that eyeball, and it should be exactly where it needs to be. All right. And that looks pretty good. Okay, when we come back in the next video, we will do the mouth. And I'll see you then.